Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another Smarketing for Marketing episode. Today we have Cat Cullinane from Aquia. She's the product marketing manager on Acquia's Drupal Cloud product marketing team. Her expertise resides in Acquia's Edge, China managed services, and Acquia's Migrate product portfolio. In her free spare time, she can be found spoiling her cat, Freya, and working on her newest DIY project. So over to you, Cat. My first question to you is, if you're in a social gathering and someone asks you, what do you do for a living? How would you describe your job role?
So honestly, I feel like the typical answer here would be that product marketing is responsible for launching new products or product updates into the market. And whereas that is true, I do think it oversimplifies the importance of the role a little bit. So in my opinion, if I had to summarize everything that a product marketer does, I'd say that at our core, we are responsible for breaking down silos. And what I mean by that is that we work very closely with our product, sales, and marketing departments in order to completely understand the product from its inception, ensuring that everyone is aligned on positioning and messaging, and providing guidance on post-launch activities and campaigns. And then, of course, like our ultimate goal as product marketers is to drive demand and product adoption. So it's not just about working with internal teams, but it's also making sure that our products and messaging resonate with customers as well. So we do have a really unique position where we get to hear a lot of different perspectives, and it's important that we are then funneling that feedback, whether it be external or internal, to the appropriate audience to make sure that we are getting or that we are able to deliver the best experiences to our customers, while also facilitating internal communication through the entire product life cycle. So that's kind of how I would summarize product marketing. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of just a brief explanation.
You kind of answered my next question too, which was more aligned with what is the big difference between product marketing versus demand gen marketing? Because I am a digital marketer, so I've never worked on the product side, but you kind of explained it in a way where your role touches different departments, right? So you're liaising with sales, also working closely with marketing, who are going out there looking for the right leads for the products. So that's really nice. So I guess on your job, you're doing a lot of webinars, considering we're living in this digital world now where everything is digital. What are some of the other campaigns that you kind of like spearhead on the product marketing side?
Yeah, I mean, so like you said, a lot of webinars I act as the subject matter expert for. And then I work with our marketing team on email campaigns, blogs, any kind of content creation on that end. I also work with sales on doing, deal outreach, getting updates on my products that are in the pipe. Any kind of feedback that they have that I can then funnel into the marketing team, and we can work on, updating our work streams and workflows with that feedback. We do a lot of competitive intelligence projects, things like that. So.
Understood. People call this a new normal, but I call it no normal kind of environment that we're working in. And over the past 2 years, we've heard this word digital transformation that is on every C-suite's mind. What are some of the trends that you are seeing as a product marketing manager that is going to shape the future of perhaps digital selling and marketing on the cloud? Because I know that Aquia does a lot of, their solutions are mostly on cloud. So talk me through that.
Yeah. So I actually just recently, maybe a month ago, did a webinar where I had to pull some data from a survey that Nielsen did. They surveyed a bunch of executives in top companies around the world. And then from that, they found out that due to COVID, it had increased the digitization of company operations by up to 4 years. And I mean, this is not a surprise. Like we're seeing this everywhere, especially as companies decide whether they go back to in person or not. I think it was also the CEO of Airbnb who had announced that they would be remote first, as
Yep.
that's where they saw the world is going, and that is how you get the best talents. And the same could be said for buyers. They are engaging more digitally than ever, whether it be on laptops, mobile, signage, etc. And this is great because we are all able to reach a wider audience from around the world. But this also means that their expectations are changing. So in order to remain competitive in an increasingly digitized and globalized landscape, I believe that content is key. For
Yep.
example, yeah, sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that I also read this quote from the CEO of Microsoft, Satya, who put it
Mm,
really nicely that we've seen 2 years of digital transformation in two
yeah,
months. So that kind of piggyback on your earlier point on Airbnb and a lot of other companies now moving digital and are remote mostly now when it comes to their employees.
yeah, and it's not just the employees, it's the buyers as well. We're all
Yep.
remote. That's where the world is going to. I don't think we'll ever go back to being, in person fully ever again. And that just means like we're all spending more time online. Um, and then on top of that, we have I think there was a study done that 60% of buyers right now are millennials. This comes back to content being key, right? The millennials tend to do a lot more research on their own before they ever speak to
Yep.
a sales rep. So that means that our customers are expected to kind of generate more content to follow this researcher journey,
Right.
and deliver it to them at their fingertips. Um,
Yeah, very good point. I think content can be a big differentiator, but it also can also lack of content can also kind of like put you on the other end where your competitors could easily be winning in the digital world, right? So there are components like SEO that gets in, right? Bing, Google's algorithm changes all the time, so you have to kind of keep yourself up to date on that. So there's a lot of that, and I know that Acquia's platform really helps you if you're using your platform for your content management, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so my next question here is that how does Aqua's digital experience platform really help companies with digital innovation and agility? Because I think that's the key, right? That's the key competitive differentiator nowadays. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that with more content out there, that ultimately means that you're going to need more applications in order to provide your digital experiences. And with that, that means more work overall. And although Acquia can't, help you hire more people, we've tried to come up with some tools that make things a little bit more efficient and help unlock more people within the company to work together. And some of our two biggest tools right now are Code Studio and ML Studio. Code Studio is on our Drupal cloud side of the house. ML Studio is on our marketing cloud. You combine those two clouds, you get a unified DXP. And so Code Studio essentially is full stack tools that are designed to accelerate and optimize Drupal development workflows, whereas machine learning tools are able to help marketers build and customize their ML models based on CDP data. And that is all within a self-service environment in ML Studio. So we have those two sides of the house. We have our development teams and our marketing teams being able to come together within our DXP. And both of those tools are then also, you can get to them within our Aquia CMS, where they are able to use our Site Studio and Campaign Studio tools. So that way, even like everyday marketers and campaigners can then do their thing all from a single place. And we're trying to make it super low code so that, even someone non-technical like myself is able to contribute.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that you're not expecting marketers to learn machine learning.
Yeah.
I know
no, it's essentially trying, like I said, to unblock those workflows. I have, Site Studio is really great. I use it every day, and I'm not a super technical person. But yeah, I use it in order to update, the copy on our website, and really easy drag and drop tools. So yeah, it's great.
So this is a nice segue to my next question. If you have to summarize Acquia's product stack to a marketer like me, what would you say? How are your marketing cloud solutions helping them do their job better? Because at the end of the day, that's what we care about: productivity, collaboration, and be able to do more in less time.
Yeah. So I think I might have touched on this a little bit, but essentially, if I had to summarize it, I'd say that our product stack is a culmination of content and data. So our Drupal cloud is all about creating and deploying your content and digital experiences, while our marketing cloud is about generating and analyzing data before then acting on those insights. And then you add them together, you get that unified DXP I was talking about. As for our marketing cloud offerings, I actually would love to start off on some Drupal cloud. Like I said before, with Site Studio, you're able to kind of update product pages, etc. Really easy drag and drop tools. I was able to, change the entire layout of the page pretty easily, and then just submit it for review by our web ops team. They're going to be able to review that pretty quickly and submit it for update. So it's honestly took something that would take me maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks to get approvals and review, et cetera, and update, and have someone from the web ops team go in and do the back end of it. And I was able to do all of that in one day, which was...
That's awesome. So can you touch on personalization? Because now a lot of websites are big on personalization to the right persona. If someone comes to our site, you want to share with them the right content, so there's less bounce rate. Does your platform offer those kind of capabilities for marketers? Because they care about those things quite a bit nowadays, because, bounce rate could also mean that they're going to your customers are going to a competitor's site, right, getting what they're looking for.
Yeah, so we do offer a personalization product, and just in general, we have our Aquia CMS does offer a lot of MarTech integrations. Again, coming to that DXP where it's all in one place, you can use it. So personalization is essentially our no-code solution. And like Site Studio, it's really easy for non-technical people to use and start designing with. And then on top of that, we have, Campaign Studio as well, and our CDP offerings, which help unify and process data so you can derive actionable insights. All of these different marketing solutions come together to really help you, look at the data, pull insights from them, and then personalize to your customers. I think we had, Lululemon was using our CDP, and it helped them determine each customer's preferences. And then they targeted them with customized online and offline marketing campaigns and offers using, personalization capabilities. So
That's sweet. I mean, again, lines are blurring, right? A lot of B2B companies are now following what B2Cs might have done 2 years back. And Amazon was like the first company that really was the leader when it comes to personalization. So my next question here is that, as B2B companies are adapting their sales and marketing tactics, and kind of like looking at B2B, B2C space, right? The creativity is so important to stand out in this online verse. What do you think in terms of Drupal's open source platform? How is it better equipped to help in this direction?
yeah, I mean, so Drupal ultimately as a foundation is extremely flexible, and therefore it can keep up with a lot of changes that are occurring in that B2B and B2C space. Some of the features and capabilities that serve marketers, especially because that's our audience today, are like things like SEO capabilities. We talked about that low code content creation, easy to use structured content. There's multilingual management, so you're not just able to provide content to your native language, but outside of that you can go a lot further within audiences. Yeah, I just think that ultimately creating content is getting easier and more streamlined with the Drupal CMS. And we as Acquia are working to ensure that our platform and products are able to keep up with that trend. And then not to mention, Drupal as an open source CMS is one of the biggest open source projects by number of contributors. And so therefore it's constantly innovating and evolving to keep up with that market landscape.
Yeah, I was reading a stat the other day where it talked about how Drupal is like the most recommended CMS, at least for government and hospitals and for higher ed education sites, because there's less of those security breaches, which is very common nowadays with what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, Drupal is definitely the leader when it comes to the CMS, and with Aqua, it kind of like it makes it bigger and more powerful as a platform. So I know that Drupal's a moving target for a lot of people. So people who are using Drupal as their CMS, they recently announced that they will be extending Drupal 7 community support for an additional year, and they are still reevaluating the end of life for that at a later stage. To users who are using Drupal 7 and they are on the fence to upgrade, what are the benefits of moving to Drupal 9? If you can touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Drupal 7 to Drupal 9 migration, we know it's very hard. It's pretty difficult. But we also know that once you get to Drupal 9, that's the last time you're ever going to need to do one of those giant migrations. And then once you're on Drupal 9, you have, the new continuous innovation cycle. So previously, whereas they would mostly come out with new features at every big Drupal release, now they're going to be releasing new capabilities and features twice a year to keep users up to date and competitive. And then you also now have the option to configure your CMS in a traditional or decoupled manner. So that's going to give you the ability to deploy content on any digital channel. So really going along with that whole digitization, the globalization, you're going to want to be able to deliver your content, whether it's on web, mobile, conversational interfaces, etc. You have so many different ways to reach your end user, and Drupal enables you to do that.
That's wonderful. I know that Aqua also helps at least smaller websites with their migration. Can you touch on that product solution?
Yeah, of course. So this is my product, but so just Acquia Migrate Accelerate is the product that we offer. Like you said, it's kind of for very simple migration moves, but it's going to be able to help customers look at the modules that are on their site, and it's going to offer migration paths that have been vetted by Aquia or the community. And you can just kind of click a button. It'll do it for you. This obviously works better for, like we said, smaller sites. So it's not a complete solution for larger sites, and where it might help them, it's not going to do all of the heavy lifting. You're still going to need to plan accordingly to use it, but it can essentially help you migrate up to 80% faster, depending on your back end of your site and how it's.
Yeah, I mean, I can all tell, like, at least for the smaller sites, this is a huge plus. If they can do it within a click of a button, they don't have to hire an outside agency or even do it with someone else to help them with this. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, we also, we just recently came out too with a assessment that goes along with Acquia Migrate Accelerate. So one of our SEs or partners can help customers run it. And this is before any prospect even needs to be on our platform, etc. They don't have to agree to anything. It's completely free. And what it does is it maps out all of their content and modules and will show you exactly how much Acquia Migrate Accelerate is going to be able to help you in your migration. So, I mean, the first step of every migration is the planning and the budgeting process. So this kind of just maps it out for you, helps you get a head start on that and kick off the process there. So,
I guess this was an extension of the existing product, or this was a standalone product as part of your solution stack?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an offering. Like I said, it's a report that we can run. You give our SEs the URL to your site, access to it, and they'll be able to kind of analyze everything. So they'll put in, it'll map out all of the different content pieces, what needs to be mapped over, what doesn't. You can decide from looking at that whether you want to leave some stuff behind or whatever. This is not it uses information from Acquia Migrate Accelerate, but it's not, you do not have to have Acquia Migrate Accelerate in order to get this report. So it's not necessarily a tool. It's just, a free report that we're running in order to help you kind of get an idea of what your migration is going to look like before you even are on Aquia.
Understood. I mean, we touched a lot about digital experiences and digital platform and the whole digitization aspect. Digital experiences can either make or break your customer experience. What are some of the things that are on your roadmap that could help a marketer market better, I guess?
Yeah. So from, the content perspective, from the Drupal cloud side of the house, which I have to throw in there because that is the, the side I'm on, but there's, not just more content, but more channels. So enhancing our capabilities to deliver across those channels and making it easier, we've come out with headless CMS. So you'll be able to hear more about that later this summer. And then on the marketing cloud side of the house, the data side of things, we are also making some updates to our CDP offering. So that's going to include multi-touch campaign attribution and self-service data integration. Our personalization offering updates include A/B testing and insights. And then I mentioned this earlier in the conversation, but one of our most important products that are coming out on the marketing cloud side is those machine learning products. So that ML Studio, which allows marketers to build and customize ML models based on CDP data. The ML Center, which is going to provide a centralized dashboard that highlights pre-built ML reports and a streamlined ML UX throughout the application. And then ML Launchpad, which it provides graphs and heat maps that explain both model and individual customer predictions. So that's all coming out. There is a lot more as well, but I can't obviously go
Of
into more
course.
details in such a short amount of time, but some exciting stuff is coming that's going to be
Very
able to be
exciting. And
done.
I guess you guys are building some kind of ecosystem where a marketer just lives there and they don't have to come out of it. They'll get everything in one place, which is great because
Yeah.
that's one of the challenges which as a marketer I face on a daily basis. So,
Yeah.
and the fact that you're kind of like blurring the lines between different platforms by those integrations and personalization touches, which is unique. And again, I worked on different CMSs and platforms, and what Aqua provides or offers is one of the best. For sure. Are there any last thoughts that you want to share with our viewers?
No, yeah, I mean, just to touch on that, I love the term, ecosystem, and I think it's so true. We
Yeah.
really are trying to make it a one-stop shop, one contract. You don't have to worry about a multitude of vendors. You have everything you need, both on the marketing side and the development side, all in that one DXP. So, yeah, that's
That's
about it. But
awesome.
I wanted to thank everyone for watching, and I'm glad to join you today, Vidushi.
Thank you. Thank you for joining and your time. Really appreciate all the insights that you've offered today. Thank you.